Hey everybody, Audrey Fesik here, your District 1 City Commissioner here in Pompano Beach. I wanted to take a little bit of time and share with you what I presented, one of the items I presented today, April 14th, 2026, at our 9 a.m. budget meeting. So I figured I would take some time to just record and let you know what I brought forward today. And so what this is one option in our capital improvement plan that I would like to see, and something that I've worked with a lot of residents um, over the past year, almost year and a half. And this is something that kind of hits all the buttons for us, or hits all the little high notes. So what I'm bringing forward today, what I did bring forward today rather, is a pedestrian safety and placemaking proposal focused on one of the most important intersections in our city, Atlantic Boulevard and either Briny Avenue or North Pompano Beach Boulevard, depending on what side you are there, but mainly the beach area. And this is about three things: safety, walkability, and connectivity, and making sure that this area actually functions the way it was intended. So these are today's conditions. I just pulled the image right off Google Maps, and right now this intersection is confusing. Drivers, pedestrians, cyclists, everyone is competing for space, and no one really has clarity. When you add in drawbridge timing, heavy beach traffic, limited pedestrian space, um, traffic issues, parking issues, and what's going to be a new construction project coming soon, we've just created a situation where conflict is inevitable and it's likely going to get worse. So this isn't theoretical. We already have a vehicle versus pedestrian issue on Briny and North Pompano Beach Boulevard, Atlantic, that whole area. Residents are trying to exit garages directly into heavy pedestrian flow or the parking lots. And right now in the beach area, we're already forcing local residential access to compete with through traffic and delivery traffic, all in the same very narrow and very busy corridor. So this is why this matters. Briny Avenue back in 2014 was designed as a walkable shared street, and that was the vision. But what's actually happened is increased traffic without a redesign, and it was originally meant to flow from Southeast 8th all the way up into what is now our fishing village. And it seems as though we've had the south side and we have the fishing village, but what we're missing is tying it together in the middle. So what's happened is increased traffic without redesign, and now we've created real safety risks already. And if we don't act now, then this gets harder, more expensive, and likely more dangerous to fix later when there's less room to move. And so I wanted to just say that why this matters, there are real consequences here. It's not hypothetical. We've already seen serious incidents in this area. And when design doesn't match reality, people get hurt. And that's exactly what we need to prevent, or at least attempt to prevent. So we have a proven approach over the past, like I said, year and a half. I have worked with our chief of, with our chief of our fire chief and our Major Elwood from BSO. I've worked with our assistant city manager. I've worked with our Parks and Rec director. Actually, I've worked with two Parks and Rec directors to just find something that worked to ensure the safety of all who attended our events. So we use it now. This is what we've landed on. We've used this system now for Music Under the Stars. We were closing it down for St. Patrick's Day, of course, but we've kind of perfected this little T layout, and it's what has really worked. But this actually, when we close it for these events, this actually closes the entire intersection to vehicles, which again can also cause some strain. So we know that the concept overall works in practice, but I think that you'll see that this actually makes it even better because we won't actually hurt it so much. So visual proof, obviously you can see it here. When we prioritize people, the space works better. It becomes safer, more enjoyable, and more functional. And here you can just see some people hanging out at Music Under the Stars, and we moved our showmobile around. So like I mentioned, this was always the plan. The original vision for in 2014, the plan for Briny Avenue, which has been installed, was to make it a walkable, bike-friendly corridor connecting Atlantic to the pier and fishing village. It was a place for people, not a cut through for traffic. So this is some of the before and after vision for the fishing village, just pointing out that we have invested a lot into this area. I know that we have not just the city, but the CRA also, and we have invested in additional infrastructure like the parking garage. So the infrastructure, all of it hasn't necessarily caught up to the vision just yet. And that disconnect is exactly where the problem lies. So this is just a little bit before and after. We just talking about how we have this beautiful walking area, some more pictures and things like that. So what's coming? The W Hotel is coming where the existing parking lot is, the big empty lot. If you're not aware that it's coming, the signs are all up, the the fence is kind of up. It's been announced and we know it's coming. But let's talk about what's coming, because this is actually where it gets real. So the W is a major hotel and condo development, and it's about to add significant traffic, especially with rideshare and valet activity, to this same narrow intersection. So this project alone is projected to generate between 2,200 and 3,500 vehicle trips per day, with up to 1,500 rideshare movements daily, all concentrated right here at Atlantic Boulevard and North Pompano Beach Boulevard, Briny, that whole same intersection. Again, this is not a small project. It is 296 hotel suites, 77 residences. So this is a significant impact. We are about to introduce thousands of daily vehicle movements into a space that was intentionally designed to prioritize people. So if we don't make the adjustment now, we are designing a conflict. So what that means is that we will have more congestion, more conflict, and more unsafe conditions in a space that was designed to prioritize pedestrians. And so this is why it's so important. So I wanted you to know that I didn't just pull these crazy numbers out of the air. As always, I'm a trust but verify person. So these numbers are not guesses. There is credibility here. They're based on nationally recognized ITE trip generation standards, and these are the same ones that are used across the country for development review. And this is standard planning methodology. If you want to check out the sources for yourself, I've listed 3 of them here. Like I said, they're something that are used all across the country for development review processes. So if we do nothing, here's what happens, right? We have more safety risks, more congestion, more spillover into surrounding neighborhoods, and we miss the opportunity to create something truly special here and make it where Pompano Beach truly has that warmest welcome that is our, quote, brand, end quote. So here's the opportunity. There is an upside. And for this, I just want to let you know that in the opportunity and the vision, I readily used AI and a bunch of different programs, Soro, Nano Banana, ChatGPT, Perplexity, to help me create some of these visuals. I actually think in 1 or 2 of these is actually a friend of mine who's an architect and engineer gave me one of these after I drew it out on my phone and literally highlighted blue pen, blue pen with a markup to show my vision. I did it on Notepad with our Parks and Rec director. So this has been a vision I've been talking about for a long time, and it's a huge opportunity. So here's what it boils down to. We would extend the sidewalk on Briny, on the south side of Briny, the south side of Atlantic, and get rid of one of those traffic lanes, the one that goes straight to the beach with the parking on the side, and instead make that a large walkable promenade with additional room for outdoor seating. And then when we do this, we'll blend it right into the Great Lawn and then create a seamless connection to the pier and activate the space for residents and businesses. Now, I understand that's hard to see from this, so I made a few more visions. So this is one other option, and this is something I didn't talk about before, but this is another way to also bring some revenue to Parks and Rec or to the city in general by having some placemaking or local things for people to do. So whether it be a green market, etc. So it becomes a signature destination. Walkable, vibrant, connected to the pier area. It's designed for people first. It's meant to be something that's here for residents as well as visitors, and something where we can truly, truly enjoy it. So in the next couple slides, it's going to, just as like I said, this is a very basic sort of overhead aerial. This would basically create one lane in and one lane out for Atlantic to flow into and up to the North Pompano Beach Boulevard, where all the parking is, on the street parking, and then of course the W will have an entry right there by the car that's just before the curve where there's a tree. Let's see if I can make my little right around here. I don't know if my mouse is showing or not, but about the 1 second car from the right, and that is where the entrance for the entrance exit for the W's parking lot's also going to be. So it makes sense to have there still be access, and we need to have it. So we need to not remove access. It's just what it can look like, where we'd have an active walkway, safe walkway. It'll be economically beneficial to the city. And again, it's not removing access to anything. It's actually just organizing it in a smarter way. So the first slide I showed with some umbrellas, and here's another, just, I said, create something with like a craft fair or some tents. And so we can see like a winter market or an art fair or a food and wine festival, which I think would be really cool too. This is something that I tried to make it create a music under the stars. It gave me a bunch of lights. Now, one thing you might notice is here on this side here, by the corner of Atlantic and A1A, it shows an LED screen with a placemaking sign. And this one I'd really love to see, where it's sort of like a triangle, or I guess trapezoid of some kind, where you can see it north-south if you're heading north or south on A1A, but also have a flat version where you can see it if you're stopped at Atlantic. So we can advertise what we've got going on or what we've got coming up, or any expected traffic, anything that's going on in the city, things like that. But this is just another option of showing something, how it could be activated. This is a very cute way of saying that we have this. This was one of the first ones that I created, just showing that with the AI, just showing basically the bollards. It's obviously takes many iterations, but so make sure. So here's what the solution is, and then the solution is pretty straightforward. If we close Briny Avenue to through traffic at Atlantic, what that will do is prevent a lot of that Uber and it'll prevent a lot of the Uber traffic from running through side streets. One of the issues that I've heard from both Ever April, but more really so Pompano Beach Club. Pompano Beach Club, their garages open onto Briny, and so during the season, it's already difficult when you're competing with both pedestrians, bikers, but the cars as well. So they have trouble getting out of their garage space or into their garage space because there's just too many vehicles and too many people and too many bikes, things like that. So this will allow us to maintain full pedestrian and bike access. So you can still ride through, bike through. It's not closing it off, but it'll redirect vehicles, automobiles, in a way that improves overall flow. So this will create clarity, safety, and function overall, because form follows function. So, and here's the result. So what we get is less congestion, fewer conflict points, safer conditions, and more opportunities for events, activation, and revenue. This is a win for residents, visitors, and local businesses. We'll be able to have sponsorship opportunities for different pieces within it. We'll be able to have that upkeep, the continuity there. We'll be able to truly monetize the space if we want to, or just use it how we want to. Just think about how pretty it would look if we actually put a Christmas tree up at the end of that, which is something a lot of people had said that they missed having on the beach side in District 1 as well. So, I mean, we could do that for the holidays. We could have a little winter market, which I love those in Europe, for a weekend, or a food and wine fest, which like they have down in Las Olas. They have the art fair in Las Olas. I understand that some people are scared about the potential pedestrian traffic, but the reality is when there's a hotel there that has 300, over 200, almost 300 rooms, we're going to have some pedestrian traffic. We're going to have an increase there anyway. We might as well reap the benefit as a city and let our businesses, our local businesses, reap the benefits of taking on that load as well. So this is actually a win for everybody, and we'll make sure that we, of course, residents first, and we'll make sure that it works for everybody. But it could be a safer place and better lighting. So some of the bollards that I looked at that could be that could be removable. I'm going to quickly go back. There was these concrete balls, which we already have, but some of the, in one of the images, oh, here it is. On one of the images here, you can see these bollards, and these little bollards here, some of them have solar powered light, or they have low level LED lighting, which would also work for us being so close to the beach and the turtle lighting, but we'd have a little bit more light and lighting around the area. It's sort of just ambient. So that is the result. And like I said, just thanks for listening to all of this. It is about getting ahead of a problem we already see coming. So we can either react later or we can plan smart now. The W is projected as at the last time I heard to be breaking ground sometime this fall. And so I'm choosing to plan smart. I would really love your feedback and find out what you think about this. I put a QR code on here. Of course, you can always call me, email me, let me know, text me, let me know what you think. But this is the difference between managing traffic and designing a place people actually want to be. And this is how we start to move our city forward while maintaining the quality of life that is so important to us as residents. There's some things we cannot change in this world. Some of the pre-approved development and increase in pedestrian traffic and vehicular traffic is going to be part of that. This is one way we can slow it down and pull back a little bit of that walkable, relaxed vibe that Pompano has always had. So thanks so much for watching. Again, Audrey Fesik. Please, please, please reach out. Let me know what you think. Have a good day.